or being a buyer's agent. But I love what I do, and it's a great career. If you follow the steps that Gary puts in place, you can be successful. You can't blame anybody else for not being successful except yourself.
Aaron, my new friend. How are you?
I'm Chase. I've been a realtor since the 25th. So last week was my first full week.
No bad habits. We love it.
No bad
No
habits.
bad habits.
Yeah, no plans on making it. And yeah, I'm excited to get into it. Before I was here, I was helping out my dad at his furniture warehouse. He owns Thomas Furniture Liquidation Company. Aside from that, I've spent a couple summers working on a veggie farm in North Carolina. But I've grown up in Cincinnati and lived the area pretty well. Got some good contacts here. I graduated high school in 2018. My crew is starting to get into thinking about buying houses. I'm sure guys. So.
Fantastic.
I'm Kevin Stoltz. Hello. I am new agent May. But we've always I sold a duplex last year, and I always loved dealing with title companies, and my friend was like, I'm like, can I make that official? I've done real estate for so long. And then mom too, and chickens.
Aw, chickens. I love that.
I've been a business owner, so I love to do this stuff.
Welcome. Glad to have you, William. Hi. You know what? I still feel the same way. I still feel like I don't know anything yet. So I keep learning things every single day, and I learn as much from you guys as you're going to cover. Yay. Are you in the class? Or are you just here?
Yes, well, I don't know. It's fine. I'm an oldie but goodie. I've been here since the beginning of this actual rooms. At 27 years. Ups and downs and breaks and bonds and yeah, still learning and yeah. It's a business. I love this business.
I do too.
Yeah, it's very nice to Kentucky as well. And have been for a long time. Used to do a lot of transfer fees, and I always wanted to look at both sides of the river, so both sides. So it's been good to me. Both sides.
Has to too. My biggest challenge is still getting around the mile. I'm a Kentucky girl, so here's Meadville. Somebody direct me to Meadville, please. Welcome. You're not licensed yet.
Not yet. I'm still testing.
But
I'm coming from dental, so this is completely
Sure, why not?
Yeah, so that's been our start. Yeah, it's
Started Harlem 6.5 years.
Yeah.
And here's the interesting thing about dentistry and nursing. You're very effective going from one career to the other. It works. I don't know why, but it just sells. It works.
So it's
Yeah.
people, detail oriented.
Yeah.
Brian.
I come from finance school, so I got started in 2007. Mortgage company. It's still in existence today. But 2015, I got licensed to sell real estate. Service private equity in Cincinnati. I was in Boston. And then within 6 months, they recruited me to be a team leader at the Pinnacle that's a. We do, yeah, we do residential, and commercial sales.
Gary.
Oh, well, I'm happy you're here. You know what? It's a refresher for me every time I go through Ignite and talk about it. So we're going to jump right in, you guys, and get started. This is actually about a 3-hour class. It should really be this particular session, a 4-hour class, and we're going to get through it in an hour and a half. So we're going to zoom through a lot of the things. We're going to skip some things. I'm going to point out the things you should do on your own. I'm really, really happy to see such a good group here today. And what I would recommend is you can't walk out of here and realize you just went to a class and not do anything about it, okay? The things you learn here in Ignite, you need to go home today and start working on those. I'm not really necessarily going to give you a ton of homework to do because nobody's going to be checking you to make sure that you're doing, because we are on our own. We're entrepreneurial, we're independent contractors. We have to learn to work on our own. However, if you do what is in this book, you'll never have any problems in real estate, I promise you. If you don't do this, if you do not take the learning that you're going to get here today and through the rest of this month and do nothing with it, it was worthless. So please take it to heart, do what the masters have put together for us to do. And if you do, you're going to be so happy with your life, I promise you. We're here to help you change lives. We just got off our leadership call this morning. We're here to grow millionaires. We want people to be millionaires. The way you will get there is by going through everything that we're talking about today, okay? So let's get started and see what we have up next on this screen. Maybe. Degenerate, yeah. Okay. Maybe I'm going the wrong button. Do you mind? Thank you, Mary. I appreciate that. As we go through here, the first things they're going to talk to us about would be following along in your book as well, if you would. It's talking about the no cost. Just not was set up to click here. It's already unshared. That's all Zoom. So this should go forward and backward. That's okay. She'll be back. It's technology. What can I tell you? When it works, it's amazing. And when it doesn't, well, it's a little bit of a teensy challenge, but we'll get by all that. So the do not call list, really be particularly cognizant of that. You do not want to call somebody who is on it. There are hefty fines for it, and just be very, very careful. Check the lists that you can buy or become. Do you provide a list for your team, Brian? It's just not going forward. So what do they do?
See the arrows?
I did. They weren't working. Okay, great. Super. So just be very, very careful with your telemarketing because it can cost a hefty fine, as I told you. And today we're going to get right in, and we're talking today about real estate experts, sparking your career, embracing your job, connect with your market, and defining your value are the things that are coming up. So got two things going on. I'm trying to stay with you guys, and I have my site as well. So some of the things that we do is, first of all, we embrace everything Gary Keller says. He is brilliant. If you ever get the opportunity to be in a room with him, take it. I've had it a couple of times with a small group like this, which is just astonishing to be able to even be there with him and hear his words because he's brilliant. And he's always leading family reunion, mega camp. When you have those opportunities to be there and hear him live, please take those advantages because he brings words that no one else has in this industry. The thing that he does say, and I believe this 100%, is anyone can do it, but not everybody will. Will you? And that's something to really, really think about because whenever we get into real estate, the thing that we realize it is about mindset. And the mindset is making sure that every day you do the right thing, even on the days that you don't feel like it, do it anyway. You know, if here's what I say, if you, and I tell people this a lot, all the time actually, that if you wanted a 9 to 5 and you wanted to make, I don't know, what's minimum wage these days? I haven't. Okay, you want to make $14 an hour, go to Macy's. If you want but you've got to treat this job the same as you do if you are working at Macy's. You have to give yourself your own hours. If you don't set yourself up a schedule and start working this as if it were your job, you will not be successful in it. That I promise you. That's a guarantee. If you treat it like a real job, you come in, you do the work every single day, whether you feel like it or not, because you're going to be making calls every day of your life pretty much. And you're not always going to want to do that. You're not going to feel like that. Trust me, there's been months I haven't made my calls. Guess what happens? I don't get paid. It reflects about 90 days later. So the days that you skip those calls now, in 90 days, you're probably not going to be getting a paycheck. So those are some of the things that we are going to be talking about today. So as we go into real estate, the 4 lessons that we are going to be talking about are applying KW culture, tapping into the resources that we have available for you to help you grow your business, create a vision for the future, and set some goals, which is always an exciting thing for me anyway. So if you turn to page 1.3, you can see here the 6 personal perspectives. And you'll delve into these throughout this entire, in your entire world, your life will always be delving back into these 6 personal perspectives because they are going to be one of the things that drives you to success. The first one is to commit to self-mastery. What do you think that means? Development, but not only just going to the development like today. When you leave here, you're going to go home, you're going to go over everything we talked about. You're going to start putting a plan together and you're going to start mastering the things you're hearing and learning. It's critical to you to be able to do that, to be a huge success. So that's what, I'm sorry, you guys. You should have heard me last week. Well, it would have not happened. This would not have happened. So when you're committing to self-mastery, you have to know your goals. You have to know your strengths and your weaknesses, and weaknesses are okay. There's nothing wrong with them. Running with your strengths is great. Recognizing your weaknesses is probably even greater in some ways. I know mine. I mean, I know in real estate specifically, I know all across the board, but specifically in real estate. Know how to work with both your strengths and your weaknesses to seek and master the necessary knowledge, skills, and the habits to reach those goals. Ask, are you committed to self-mastery? That is, are you committed to knowing your goals, strengths and weaknesses, and are you committed to acquiring the knowledge, the skills, and the habits to be successful in this business? You have to be committed to those things. If you are not, you could do okay, you could do great. I mean, I didn't know any of this when I got into real estate, and I still made a lot of money and had a great time. So no problem with that. However, to be hugely successful, if that is your goal, you really need these things in your life. I'm so sorry, excuse me. The second perspective is to commit to the 80-20 principle. Do we know what that is? The 80-20 principle. It's actually a proven scientific principle that was, I believe, discovered or at least delved into at Harvard University. Now, does nobody? Yeah, and that's in pretty much everything. And that's particularly true in real estate. The idea that 20% of your actions lead to 80% of your results may be one of the most powerful principles that we have. And whenever you're looking at your schedule on from a day-to-day basis, I want you to think about that. Am I working in my 20%, which is going to actually give me something back for what I'm doing, or am I just wasting time over here in the 80%, which I might not ever have to touch or even need to look at or even be there? Sometimes there will be some things in the 80%, which may be going into preparing some things for research, whatever. But your 20% is making phone calls, is talking to people. Celeste, what else would you say is in your 20%? Okay, because that's how you do your regen. And that's really what this all boils down to, which is really fantastic. And as we go through this, you're going to hear the big rocks. Those are your big rocks. So whenever you're thinking about real estate, we're going to be thinking about this. So sorry. In the terms that Gary does, and that's looking at your big rocks. And those are two of yours. What would you say yours are, Brian? Oh, you did? Okay. Yeah, me too. Okay. She said lead generation, which is in her leads generation, it's open houses and door knocking. Events, great. Tammy, what about you?
So, my involved relationship with my clients and generational referrals. Um,
It really shouldn't be about the flop, though.
Relationships is the biggest thing. I can tell you that is, they don't care really if you're a real estate agent, but listening to them and their care about what they have to say instead of just looking at it as I'm just going to sell you a house. You have to have a relationship with them. Better your relationship is, better your business.
Absolutely. And the thing I love about Tammy, and not just because she's Tammy, but her follow-up is impeccable. And the fortune is in the follow-up. And you're going to be hearing that through this entire, I hope, from the other instructors that you're having, that the fortune is in the follow-up. Follow-up is not like it used to be because people don't always automatically pick up the phone. They don't automatically answer you. They do it when they're good and ready. So whenever you've texted them, emailed them, called them 10 times and they have not reached back out to you, keep doing it. I had a gal call me back from my internet provider out of nowhere. She was on my site for a year. She's been on my site for a year, you guys. A year this month. She's been watching all the stuff. And about a month ago, I was getting ready for work and she popped up that she had looked at a house like 3 times. So I called her and she's closing in a week. So, it's that follow-up. Now, a lot of it you don't have to do on yourself anymore. A lot of it can be automated. So just keep that in mind when you're doing, but know how critically important that is.
I'll say the other thing that works for me is you don't know who your next client is. So make sure that they know like everything I do, whether it's pickleball or golf or bowling, going to the doctor's office, they all know I sell real estate because I tell them I sell real estate. They always ask me how's the market, what's going on, whatever. But same thing with Susan. I had somebody from a doctor's office probably well over a year ago popped onto my website and said, "Hi, you're Shelby." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh." And anyway, they want to buy a house for $500,000+.
Everybody has a friend or a sister or a mom or somebody. Yeah,
Something.
yeah,
So
for sure.
We just need to communication and let them know. That's the hugest thing we forget to tell people. For a living.
You know, and I think a lot of that just because it's so natural for us to do it on a day-to-day basis. We don't think about it. We just do it, it's done, and we don't let them know what we did. And so the value is in what we do for them. So we really do have to be better about keeping that available to them. So the next thing on here is move from E to P. Now, they call this now moving from entrepreneurial to purposeful. And I used to call it, well, the old books, which I like way better than the new ones because it was a little more less politically acceptable, I guess, but it was emotional. They said move from emotional to purposeful. And I really think that says it a whole lot better. What do you think that means? Brian?
So like what Tammy was saying, I do a lot of that too, like anywhere I go. So if I do that,
Yep.
Your emotions. Just know that if I'm at my kid's school carnival with slingy pizza, I'm also talking about real estate because parents want to do it mindset. So like,
Right.
So that is like getting out of my own emotions and out. I naturally do it where I feel kind of like Candy said, you're gonna know like how to go and work separate from the competition. And that's in the purpose. Like I'm purposefully doing this. I know that's easier for me to do it 5 phone calls. There's 10 phone calls per line. And I do make kind of joke, like I try to get it. That's the other part of it is relationship. People feel comfortable and people break down that barrier and laugh or like to trust you. Hear the conversation.
It's really true. And I love that. Thank you. I think for new agents, this thing that I've seen by being a broker for over 25 years, and it's August, double whammy, right? So, because it's almost going into the last quarter, is the thing I see with new agents is you'll do anything to not do the stuff you need to do. You will do anything to not do the stuff you need to do. I do it too sometimes. If I'm in that mood and I just don't want to do it, it's like, thing is just jump in. And there's a book, if you want to read an amazing, short, easy book, Eat That Frog. It's by Brian Tracy. He tells you just get up and just get her done first thing in the morning, and you won't have to worry about it the rest of the day. When you get into real estate, you're going to have those things you just don't want to do. You don't want to make that phone call as listings are starting to linger in some areas on the market the second week in a row to say we didn't have any showings. The phone call should be translated into something different. Let's get a price reduction. But those are the kinds of things I, in the past, have had a tendency to put off. And it's really, really hard. When you eat that frog and you just do it when you need to do it, you'll be so much better off. Any questions on that? Some of the EDP I've seen, it just makes me laugh. I should write a book just on what agents have done not to have to do the purposeful. I had one guy in California that worked with me, and I would say, what are you doing? He goes, well, you know what? I'm getting the dust. It was a joke, sort of, but I'm getting the dust out of my lint vent in my dryer. Why? Because I don't want to make calls, Susan. That's why. I'd rather pick out the lint in my dryer. So, like, get busy, make your calls. Okay, so going from learning base to the foundation of your action plan. So everything you learn is to put it into an action plan. It is not just for the learning of learning's sake. I would have stayed in college for 30 years. I love college. I would have stayed forever. I never wanted to leave. I tried not to, but eventually got to make money, right? But take what you learn here and use that in the real world. Because if you don't do that, being here today is not going to be a thing in a week or a month, and definitely not in a year. The next thing is removing your limiting beliefs. Wow. What can we say about that? What can we say about limiting beliefs? Boy, do we. Can you give me an example, maybe of one of the older agents that are here, older in experience, not necessarily age? What were some of the limiting beliefs you've had to overcome?
One of my biggest limiting beliefs was when I entered the neighborhood and I saw an agent that dominated that. I was intimidated, been in here 15 years and knew everybody. You know, I limited my beliefs and thinking, well, here I am, an agent. Like, who's gonna consider me? And I mean, it's proven time and time again, like that person, that amazing agent may not have an outreach or connection. And on several different occasions, like Scott Hines was, you know, in Madeira, and I this example that I used, and I entered that neighborhood and did, you know, work with several. By limiting my belief, I would have probably.
That's true. And as you're looking at that, I haven't done any stats here, but when I was in LA, that would be very heavily dominated markets.
Right.
And yet whenever I pulled the stats from my team, because they were intimidated by some of these agents that seem like they sell everything, and they kind of did. And yet the ones that were selling the most were selling 25%. So out of 100%, how much is left for the rest of us? 75%. I'll take some of that. They can keep their 25. I don't care about that, but I'll take some of the other.
The lady responded to my door knock. She said, well, my neighbor is a realtor, but I just love your effort. So if I ever consider selling, I'm going to accept you. She's like, he's my neighbor. I was going to do business. And, you know, so I stayed in touch. So those are things that help change that.
It does. Once you start seeing it in fruition, it really does make a big difference. Some of the other limiting beliefs, I'm not going to call them because they don't want to hear from me. You called your friend, it's going to get sell soon, right? Or, gosh, I've called them 5 times. I just don't want to bug them. Well, guess what? Maybe you're not bugging them. Maybe they're waiting for you to call them. Did you ever think about that? I mean, so many times we pick up the phone call and say, oh God, I just don't want to call them for the 10th time. Call them for the 10th time. That may be the time they pick up. One thing I learned from our one of our mentors with my website company, which is Sync, they're awesome, is they call and they call right back. And people almost always pick up on the second time. So whenever you're trying to reach someone that you really don't know or you're trying to connect with, maybe that is a cold lead that has come into you, and you call, they're not going to pick up the first time, but if you call right back in 30 seconds or less, they almost always pick up the second time, which is fast. I never knew that. Did you know that, Brian? Well, it is. You need to buy a house. You came to my website, and now we're making it your emergency, I guess. So just know that you can do whatever it is you put your mind to. Just do it, and it will always work out for you. Be accountable. This is huge. This is a very accountable office, extremely accountable. We are held accountable for just about every breath we take. So, and the reason why is that, why is it important? Why is it important to be accountable? Why do you think? Well, we do. But from our own personal perspective, what is the importance of us being accountable? Yeah.
You don't sit up in the house or, you know, doing the laundry or cleaning the house or running errands instead of.
It's really true. And if you're not reporting to someone, you have to report to yourself. Correct? It's nice to have an accountability partner. I highly recommend it. I highly recommend that people in this class get together, maybe 2 on 2, 3, however you want to do it, and just say, did you do what you said you were going to do yesterday? Whatever that is. whether that's making 15 calls, talking to people that you know in your sphere, adding things to your database, but get together and that's all you have to say on that call. It could be a call, it could be face to face. Did you do what you said you were going to? Did you make those 10 calls? And you're probably not going to want to say no because you may want to disappoint someone else less than you would yourself. So that's one thing that really does work. The other thing is it gives you predictability. So if you start keeping track of what you do, and everybody on my team does this. So if you start, and let's say that you're going to make 10 calls and you're going to talk to 10 people, but you keep a slash marker however you decide to do it, and you realize you have to dial 100 times to get to speak to 10 people, keep that record. Number one, it's going to get better. And number two, it's going to give you predictability so that if you really need to find a deal, you're going to have to know how many times you're going to have to make those dials, talk to those people to make that happen. I learned that my first year in real estate. That's probably one of the best lessons I ever had. So, did I skip something? I may have about two books and a. I think we did it. All right, so I am neither especially clever nor especially gifted. I am only very, very curious. I love that. I love that. If you're curious with your clients, how does that change the way you deal with them?
Makes it personal.
It does. Yeah. I mean, if you walk in and say, hey, I'm Susan Ash, I'm a real estate agent, blah, blah, blah. But if I walk in and say, hey, Celeste, I just wanted to see how you're doing. What's going on in your world? Be curious. And at some point in that conversation, it may come up. She's probably going to end up asking me about real estate. They always do. I can't even have a real doctor's appointment without talking about real estate because that's what happens in real estate. But it will lead you right down that path. And we are actually going to have a script for that today, which is so exciting for me. And it also says happiness is not an individual sport, but it is a choice. You can choose to be happy. You can wake up in the morning and you can choose to be happy. I believe that with all my heart. Or you can choose to not be happy. Your choice, but happiness is better. So going through this very first section, any ahas, anything, any little sparks that went off in your mind as we discussed some of these things? We'll just sit here quietly until I get something too.
My biggest thing that I've been on the past week is just accountability. You said, like, you'd rather work at 9 to 5, making $40 an hour at Macy's. No, but I'm happy to put in 9 to 5, hours from 9 to 5 here, for how long it takes to do that heavy legwork you need to do so that later on down the line you have good systems in play. And the things from being accountable, the leads to predictability, where if you call 100 people, if you get 2 leads out of that, you put in the same systems that you're doing.
Very true. And you're holding yourself accountable. I hear things about you. People talk in the office, and he's here every morning, I hear. Making his calls, I hear. Having success, that's what I hear. So congratulations. That's really awesome. That's great. Anyone else? Is that did I hear it? Yes. That's a stretch. Okay. Yes.
So we refer to our database. I don't know if it's online. So we were saying ask somebody the same questions 5 or 6 times. So when we look at it on our team, it's a whole line, right? And so like you can't stop short. Like how many people stop short? Maybe a foot from home, and you're gonna hit jackpot. Amazing deal, right? So it's all in follow up, and consistent on not just follow up times, but ask saves time, and then you can almost still get other step probably consistently over time. Business, but start.
You do. One of the girls I used to I am also a coach, and I have done productivity coaching here and in Los Angeles and still do some private coaching. But she considered herself a hunter. She called herself a hunter every single day. She didn't call herself a realtor, lead generator. She goes, I have to hunt. I'm going out today to hunt. And I love that. And that stuck with me for quite a while. Ooh. Thank you for that, explaining that. Okay, so one thing about Keller Williams, and I'm sure if you've been here more than 2 seconds, you've heard about our culture, because this office and every Keller Williams throughout the country is developed around culture. And some of the things that we do, I'm just going to hit the highlights here, is Red Day. That's the day that the entire company closes and we go do charity work for a whole day throughout the country. And it's very rewarding. People love doing that. KW Cares is it's a charity that we have. So that if something goes wrong in someone's world, individually or even on a mass. So usually whenever something happens, let's say, what was the last big catastrophe that we had?
Texas.
Yes. So whenever that happens, the first thing we do is we put things together to send. We start sending things. A lot of times we get there before the Red Cross. So we're very active in making sure that we take care of not only on a national level, but our local people. We had one of our agents unexpectedly passed not this January, a year ago, January, heartbreaking for all of us. And they needed assistance and we gave them a funeral. And that was because we donate to KW Cares every time we have a closing. And when that happens, then we have local money. If we have local money, corporate will also match that. And then we gave him a beautiful, beautiful send off. And I miss him. I'm gonna cry. Okay, so I'm gonna move on. Diversity, equity, and inclusion, critical to us. Most important thing, we're the United Nations, kind of, I guess, of real estate. We love the inclusion. We love to include everybody. We like to work with people in underserved areas to make sure that they can have the home dreams of their life, if that's their choice. We also have culture ambassadors. So this is the MVVP. It's our mission, vision, values, beliefs, and perspective. So again, I want you to read these kinds. You have it in your book. Let's see what page that's on. Does anybody see it in your book? For the description. It's on my page 1.20. Where it is in yours, if I can get to it. Again, we're quickly going through this because it's a lot. If you start on page 1.10 in your book, that's where the culture piece starts, talks about our KW value, our training and our coaching. And then it gets, I guess it doesn't go into this specifically here just yet, but it also goes into KW value and the market center value and the language of real estate on page 1.13. Now, when you're talking about the language of real estate, that's really about your numbers. That's how many calls you've made, how many people you've spoken to, how many deals you've done. That's really what it boils down to as the language of real estate. Let's see. And our mission here, and if you want your own, you can use this mission as you're talking to your potential clients and your clients. You can make your own mission if you have your own personal mission. And my team does have its own personal mission, but if you choose to use this, this doesn't get better than this. And the mission here is to build careers worth having, businesses worth owning, lives worth living, experiences worth giving, and legacies worth leaving. And the more and more people I've talked to throughout the years and working with them through Ignite and coaching is the legacy is really the piece that most people are interested in. It's about the people around them. It's not about us. It's about the people that we love. So our belief system is, and I'm not seeing it here. Skipped it. Is win-win or no deal, integrity in all things we do. Customer always comes first. Commitment in all things, communication. Seek first to understand. Creativity, ideas before results. Teamwork, together everyone achieves more. Trust starts with honesty. Equity, opportunities for all, and success results through people. And we firmly believe in this in every way. So I'm just going to keep moving here, you guys. So these are some of the awards that we've taken. You will want to put these into your listing presentation. So whenever you are talking to people and you don't have a track record yet, you're going to need a track record for something and somebody. So whenever you're looking at stats, you're going to use not only your stats, but office stats, but you're also going to have a list of the things that we are just fabulous at, including top franchise for veterans in 2021. We have all kinds of training events. You cannot not go to a training event. They're all day, all times, everywhere, all parts of the country, local, regional. And these are some of the things that we just mentioned too. We have Bold coming up in October. Please start thinking about it now because it will change your life. It's Ignite on steroids. So definitely as it starts to come around, start looking at that, putting it in your calendar to make sure that you go to it. We have Technology Command. How many of you have been in command? Not yet. Okay. You'll, excuse me, you will want to embrace it. It can be your worst enemy until you get to know it, and it will be your best friend. Okay. How are you doing with it, Chase?
Good, yeah, I have my onboarding.
Okay, great. It gives you, I'm not even going to delve into it since you haven't maybe opened it yet. Mary, are you using Command? Yeah. I started with it in beta and I got really frustrated with it in beta. That was like 6 years ago, 7 years ago, I guess. And now I love it. It's amazing. We have our Command app. If you have not put it on your phone to share it with people, please do that and offer it to everybody that you come in contact with. Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. Thank you, Brian, for correcting me. Yes, the Command app is for you on your telephone. There is the home search app, which is what I was referring to. My apologies. Many apologies. So as we don't have our stats on here, but as we go through the next few months as you become a new agent, you'll definitely want to watch the statistics for the office and the MLS. And we do talk about how we rank in relation to the MLS, and we're usually way ahead of percentage-wise, statistically, the MLS stats. So that's a really good thing to know. Profit shares. Please, please, please. When Tara first got into the business, they told her that whenever she got, was it 11 people in her downline, that was her goal. She needed to get 11 people in her downline. And she thought that if she didn't do that, she was going to get fired. Well, we don't really fire anybody typically, unless they've done something horrible, but that she did rush out. And I think within 30 days, she had 11 people in her downline. And what that does is it just builds wonderful income for you that is put into your bank account the 21st of every single month, as long as the market center that you're in is profitable, and we are. So typically, if you bring an agent in, they hire, you name your sponsor, then when they start selling and we're in a profitable period, which we always are here, I don't know anytime we haven't been, then you will get a piece of that action going into your bank account, which is really amazing. The first time it happened to me, I was like, oh, I'm going shoe shopping. It was $351. So I bought more than shoes. It was great. The thing is, there's no financial risk, there's no legal risk, there's no money invested. You don't have to make any phone calls. All you have to do is give the name of somebody that you know that might be thinking about getting into real estate to Kristen, and she will run with it. Or one of the leadership team. That is the job that we do here to make sure that we have a lot of people coming in that with money. Linda McKissick, who's our regional owner, is the #1 profit share person in the entire country. And what's she making now, Brian? About 2.5 million a year off profit? Are they? Yeah, they're phenomenal people. They deserve it. She's worked so hard. This is. So do you have KW resources in your book? Is that what's coming up next? Hmm. Well, here. Do you see it? Communities or I'm sorry, KW resources. Hmm. They've changed this up a little bit, so my apologies.
It's also about training, coaching, example.
Yeah, we did. We already did that. Okay, so I will just talk about it a little bit. Connect is wonderful. If there's ever anything that you're trying to learn or discover things about, it's on Connect. If you go into Connect, you will be able to find how to do a listing presentation, do a 411, which we'll get into later. We'll be doing this later. Those kinds of things are all available there at your fingertips, and they're usually pretty good to watch. Also, of course, we can't forget YouTube, can we? Because YouTube has everything. I can do anything on from YouTube. Fix my car, change my own oil. I had to check it one day. I'm serious. I didn't change the oil. Like, yeah, I did check it. Little. So I close. Close enough, right?
I'm excited about Canva.
I know.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Oh, oh, Susan, I think she's had, they probably are doing beta on it, but was it, she was actually using it through Keller? Is that what she said? Oh. Yeah, I use Canva every day pretty much, and I love it. So I'm excited whenever they integrate it into Keller. I think it'll be really amazing. So these are some of our companies. We have Keller Williams Worldwide. We have Keller Mortgage. Keller Mortgage is here. Craig Davis is our rep, and he's right down the hallway. So get to know him. He will be one of your best friends, and he always feeds us. which we like. We like to support getting fed. So he's amazing. So Craig is here pretty much on a daily basis. We have Keller Manage, Keller Covered, which is insurance, and Keller Offers. Are they still doing that? I don't even know if they're still doing it. Yeah, yeah, right. This is true. So if you have a house that needed some sort of upgrades or something that would increase the amount of money the homeowner would be able to put into their pocket, that might be something you might want to discover. But I'm going to check into that, Brian, because I haven't seen Keller Offers in a minute. Okay. These are some of the communities. And I don't know if you've thought about getting into any kind of a special niche, but niche marketing is really what parlayed me into being able to make the kind of strides that I did in real estate. I was a young mom. I had a 2-year-old, and I had to make every minute that I worked count. And I was not going to be in my car all day running around with the 2-year-old. So I would get up in the morning around 7 o'clock, go to my office, do anything I had to do admin wise, like administrative, doing brochures, whatever, because I was a brand new agent with a kid. And so I would go take care of that. Then I would come home, spend most of my day with him, do my appointments in the evening. So the way that I was able to do that is I figured, you know what, it's a lot easier to list 5 houses at one time than it is to list 1 house at one time. So I made my niche kind of by accident, kind of not, builders. So I started listing builders. And the first 20 years of my business, 15 years of my business was devoted to new construction development. And it still has my heart. It really does. It still has my heart. But it took me from 1 house at a listing at a time to maybe 5 listings in a month, just like that. And if you make those connections and you can parlay that into your niche, it works amazingly well. So I would say there's all different ways you can go. Diversity, equity, inclusion, serving underserved markets. You can be so effective by helping people that need help, that they may not even know they need help. They may not even know that they have an opportunity to ever own a home, and you can be that person. KW Commercial. Brian's a commercial agent here in our office, and that's served you very well, right? And these are all communities that you can join or you don't have to join, but there are also, I think, good recommendations to think if you're thinking of doing a niche, because we know that they're effective or they would not have the community based around them. KW Land is going to be huge. It is huge. It is huge right now. I'm getting calls on land every single day. I got a call from a client who drives me crazy. He absolutely drives me up the wall and back, so that I just want to just jump. Yes, but he's got a $5 million piece of land that I'm working with him on down in Kentucky. So I'm pretty excited about that. But I thought, what does he want now? It's like, oh, I'm so happy to talk to you. What do you want? So, so land it's just going to be huge. And like Brian said, if you can get some, KW Luxury, Tammy's part of KW Luxury because she does a lot of luxury homes. The bulk of your business, probably.
I will say,
You sold a house for 45,000? Cool. Oh, I love that.
So I tell people, like, because some people will say to me, they're like, oh, no, this is way below what you probably sell. You know, it's 3,000, but I'm like, oh, for 40,000, that's I'll take it all.
That might take the record this year. To give it a word.
Yeah. Where's at the art? He's the director of the art academy, and we, of course, and so chat, like text it, how's it going, whatever. You know what? $40,000, but you might, so who wants a $1 million house, you just don't know.
You just don't know, you know, and I said, like, somebody wants to buy it, I'm first in line to make sure that they get it. And rentals too, do not turn your nose up at rentals. Please do not turn your nose up at them because number one, you may be able to convert them from renting to purchasing right now because of pricing, because rentals are astronomical. And yeah, it's really smart. Or if they move in, I had a guy move in out in LA. The lease was like $5,000 or 6,000, I don't remember, for a one bedroom. And he decided he wanted to buy a condo because he just couldn't stand the little space. Sold in that condo within 12 months. He broke the lease, moved into a beautiful condo, sold that in 12 months, moved to San Diego, got a big referral, all good. Susan is happy. Let's just move. New construction, which has my heart. KW military, I can't miss that. So VA is a huge opportunity for everybody. And we love to take care of our service people. Do you? That's nice. That is nice. KW New Homes, KW Sports and Entertainment. We do have a gal here who does work with KW Sports and Entertainment. She's part of a team out of Florida. And it's a great opportunity. I mean, we are surrounded by sports. They're all around us. So it's a good thing to start thinking about. It's hard to get in, it's hard to break into, but once you're there, you're there. Sports, and it's also not the easiest because you're usually working with managers and the managers are making the decisions sometimes or trying to get the deals to work out. And so it can be a little bit challenging. KW Young Professionals, you guys, you're young enough, join KW Young Professionals. You're going to meet people locally. You're also going to be all over the country. And some of the people you meet in this group are phenomenal. You will learn things from them. You will never learn from anybody else. You will hear things from them. You will never hear. And they're your peers. They're your age group. And well, except for some of us, I joined it. I just showed up. They took me. Did they? They're all online. So whenever you get into Connect, excuse me, through Connect, you can join these. Most of them do have a fee to join of what, $199, I think, but not all of them. Young Professionals, it's not. And oh my gosh, yes.
Ideas and it's just motivational. It's kind of a form of having a thing.
It is.
And I love it. If I don't listen to my
and he's amazing.
Put it in my ear. You could be like listen breakfast while you do it. It's not like you have to be, on Zoom to do it.
He's amazing in every way. I love him. And oh, it is. And he's fun.
Yes.
He's a fun guy.
There's Bibles and all kinds of things that you can use as resources in there that I
Yeah, he's phenomenal. Excuse me, you guys. Sorry. Okay, so let's talk about your vision for your business. So today is August the 4th, 2025. So 1 year from today, let's talk a minute about what your business would look like. And why don't you jot yourself some notes, okay, as we go through this. So your business is thriving and your life is everything you've dreamed of it being. Your customers rave about the experience and the value you provide, and think of whenever you have a real estate. Wouldn't that be great? If all your friends, whenever they thought about real estate, only thought about you or the people you've come in contact with in the past. Your family and friends are so proud of your success and are consistently referring business your way. Internalize this. Just think about what that would feel like. Really, really feel like 1 year from today that your family and your friends are so proud of you for what you've achieved. How exciting does that make you feel? Makes me feel good. Makes me want to go out and work a little bit harder. You're helping others live their dream of owning a home because you are focused on helping them get what they desire. There's nothing that feels like that, is there, Celeste? There's just nothing that feels like that. When it's somebody who's wanting a home, maybe it's their 10th home, but maybe it's that very special home that they just couldn't live
It's the
without.
best feeling, because I just got out of contract client to the house in 2023 and loved the house and never put in a bid, but was sorry that she did. Just went up to the market. Just went up.
Is that all from Beth? Yes, yay! That is such great
And I
news.
mean, she was like over the moon, and she paid more than she wanted to, but she's over the moon, so they're all happy.
Well, that makes me really happy too. I want
You're
to
a big part of that.
thank you. So you're building the foundation and momentum for your entire career and gaining relationships and experiences and the income you desire and deserve, frankly. You know, if you're willing to do all of these things to make everyone else's life better, you deserve to have the income you desire. You are the top agent in your market center or rookie of the year if you're the top agent. How does that feel? How's that feel, Tammy? Yeah, it feels great, doesn't it? You're more than top 10, my love. You're way more than top 10.
You're the top.
I,
Top 10.
yes,
But I work really hard, you know, back to the 9 to 5 Monday to Friday, this is not a 9 to 5, it's not a 9 to 5. For me, and I know people have to work life balance, which I think I do, I travel.
yeah, you do.
But I do work 100%. There's really no.
There is not. It is. It's a really good way to look at it. Let me clarify what I was trying to say earlier. It's not a 9 to 5 per se, but if you don't treat it like a real job, you have to have, yeah,
You don't have a significant amount of time. And getting up and coming to work like every day is a great way to start this business because you do have to treat it like a business, because if you don't, you will fail.
and it will get you in the right habits by doing that. Thank you. And we're lucky to have Tammy with us today. What?
20% of the agents are 80% of the business because it's probably agents out there.
Yeah, there, and you know, I think a lot of it is lazy, and I think a lot of it is just not knowing what to do, what to say. They get hung up on all that stuff that really isn't important anyway. It's better to say something always than nothing. Sometimes you'll stick your foot in your mouth. That's okay. Just take it out, stick the other one in. Right?
Know your stuff.
Yes, just know your stuff.
Know your stuff is what you tell people on the next stage. They're always asking questions. So the market, know your stuff, know what's going on. And they're like, oh, this is smart person. They seem to know the market, they seem to know things. And they remember.
They do. And they're looking for expertise in community. So one thing I would recommend to you is if you haven't chosen like your main area where you'd like to work, so kind of work a little bit of everywhere, you're probably going to have that one area that ends up being sort of where you end up being a lot of the time. Mine was Independence, Kentucky. I didn't even know how to get there when I first moved to Kentucky. And I knew everybody there. It became my market. It just happened. And, but everybody would call me. They still do. I still get calls from Independence because they know Independence probably sold more houses there than any other agent. Betcha, if I went back to Calvin. But I knew the market. So they're looking for people who know whenever you walk in, oh yeah, the house down the street sold for 330 or whatever. It's a good thing to do. You're poised to hire a part-time assistant to handle your 80% while you take care of the 20% of your business. Remember, the 20% is the thing you need to concentrate on over the rest of your career, actually, and stay as much away from that 80% as you possibly can. And you're on the path to, what does that look like for you? What is the path look like? Where do you think you're heading? What's your dream? I mean, we get into real estate because we have dreams, we have hopes, we want to do things. May not even be about us. It may be, I've got a granddaughter. She's beautiful. She's a feisty little 3-year-old that I cannot keep up with, and I'm seeing this afternoon, so I'm excited about that. But she's my thing now. I mean, she's it. It's like, that's why I want that legacy that will take care of her. She can do whatever it is as a woman in the world of everything. She has the opportunities. That's really the bottom line of it all. So what are you on the path to right now? Anybody want to share? Why are you here?
Building that I'm excited about is just, I think I'll get a lot of purpose from finding people that dream home. Probably a really good investment, one of the best built companies. And then down the line, getting into ways that I can start to make passive income on it. I think I'll get a lot of fulfillment, like out of that. Like financial freedom, if I could just simplify it all, but I think everybody wants that.
We all do, but what does that look like for you? Financial freedom for you may be different than me. So, you really have to delve down into all of these things and think through, what does that really mean to me? And how do I really get what I want? You'll meet Logan. Logan is going to be here with me, I think, on Friday. She's on my team. She's absolutely amazing. She's 22 years old. She's selling real estate like crazy. She's beautiful. She's kind. One of the nicest people I've ever met. She's put deals together that she calls me up and I laugh. Like, who would write that? She said, oh, well, Susan, I did. And how are you going to get it accepted? She said, well, I just did. Okay, let's do it. I don't know. You're teaching me a lot of things. She's going to be coming in on Friday to work with us on lead generation because she's phenomenal at it. Her dream is to have a pet sanctuary. She rescued a goat like 3 months ago. This goat has taken over her life. It's her child. And she's amazing. What? The goat. Yes, she does. So she's got the goat. Then she has another 2 dogs. And then another dog just showed up one day, or somehow she rescued him, and he's a nightmare. She won't do anything except love him forever. So, but her dream is a sanctuary for animals that don't have anywhere to go. And she's working on that. She will succeed with it, I'm sure. So whenever you're thinking about your big life, what does that look like? This is huge for Logan because she talks about it all the time. I know she's going to do it. It's right there. It's right in the forefront of everything she thinks about and does. So here they're talking about your big life. If I can move this without getting rid of everyone. This is to donate cat habitat, $5,000. This is an income of $364. And this is what this person, whoever this is going to be doing with their money. Get through school debt free at $120,000. Pay off mom and dad's house. One of our agents here that works with Brian, that was his goal 2 years ago. Said, I'm going to pay off my mom and dad's house. He did it. He sure did. In 7 months. And he used to come in my office and say, I don't know if I can stay in this business, Susan. It's really tough. It's really hard. And next thing we know, he's selling everything and he's paying off his mom and dad's house. That was a huge day for me. I was so happy for him. Good move. I'm a little bit jelly over that one. Are we at the end? Is that possible? Is it really? Because this usually takes like 4 hours to get through. They've changed it all up. I know. But we're missing some things here, so it did not pop up here, so I'm gonna go over those and I hope they're in your book. Go back and see if I can find it. The things that we really want you to do to start getting ready is to make your calls, you guys. Start making calls today. Don't wait. If you haven't made any calls, I know you have. There he is, the guy who did it. Man, we were just talking about you because you're so fabulous. You guys are funny. Well, I don't, it was in my materials that I studied last night, and I don't know if you guys read ahead, but it gets into your net income goal here. We can do that at a different time. We can actually go on to command and put in the numbers that you want to make. It will tell you exactly how many calls you need to make this year to make that happen, or how many people that you need to speak to, or people to talk to.
So, and then the other thing is you're going on appointments but not closing. You also track the appointment set. You can take the listing, like there's a listing out there, so you track that. Hey, so where did the listing use those metrics really figure out where the breakdown is, where can be somewhere and you'll walk out until you actually like track those specific the actual breakdown. It's my first, I'm not perfect. But I'm not saying so that you have what you're saying to start your you don't have those numbers to go back and like, here are my numbers.
It really is. But if you have those things, it will help you move forward and know what you're doing. So that's really critical. It is extremely.
Use it right now. So everything you do, it's an opportunity. So that, like I said, track numbers and see where things or fires or whatever it is. If you put everything through command, so staff do.
Well, you have to do it to get paid. It is. It's a great source. So if you want to start your daily success plan, we already have it laid out for you. And this is actually on page 1.45. And it tells you what you need to do on a daily basis right now. Now, you're going to start adding things and maybe changing a few things along the way. But one thing is you need to have 10 conversations a day with somebody about real estate. Anybody. No, it's my problem. I've got an outdated book and 2 books going on up here, so my apologies.
I mean, like conversion, your
Yeah, we're gonna talk about Ford before we leave. But let me go ahead and give you this because it's really important, even though it's not showing up here in this section. My apologies. So you want to talk to 10 people a day about real estate. And you need to add 10 contacts a day to your database. We know that whenever you get over 200, that incrementally your database is going to start working for you. Okay. 10 handwritten notes. So if you talk to somebody and it seems like someone you would like to follow up with, either now or in the future, go ahead and send them a handwritten note. Don't send them an email. Don't call them back right away that second. Just go ahead and send them a note. Utilize which they'll be getting into this time, because on the 10-5-1 model for social media engagement. So, but if you do those first 3 things, that's going to be critical to starting your business for you. I've done it since I've been at Keller Williams, and I still do it, and it still works. So continue doing that as well. On page 1.19, it talks about Catch Your Sphere on the Move and who has recently moved. Stay in touch with them, because you know what? They may not like their house, whether it was with you or somebody else. Definitely stay in touch with them, or they definitely will make another move somewhere in the future. So you want to always be in touch with them. And who might be thinking of moving soon? Who might some of those people be? Thinking of moving. Empty nesters, somebody just had a baby, kids go to college, unfortunate things happen, divorces, deaths. Those are all people that probably will be in the market at some point, either soon or a little bit later to go into the marketplace. And then who's somewhere in the middle? Well, you know what? If I found the perfect house, yeah, maybe. They're kind of in the middle, but you know what? When they find that perfect house, guess what? They'll take it. I'm going to tell you an accidental story, and then we're going to talk about the Ford method, and then we're going to do some ahas, and we will wrap up. I had gotten a call on an old mansion that I had listed over in Covington. This has been about 10 years ago. And they wanted to go see the mansion. So I said, sure, oh no, I'm sorry, it was a condo. So let's go take a look at the condo. So we go look at it. They were just kind of, not so much. So then they wanted to go see another condo over in South Shore and Newport. So I showed them the other condo. They're very standoffish. They don't want to be called. They won't return calls, nothing. Just like silence after I showed them 2 properties. So a couple of months go by, and do you remember like LinkedIn, Facebook back in the day? It would say, oh, send this to your contacts. Like it would send it out to everybody whenever we could do that. So it sent it to this client by mistake. I didn't mean to. And he calls me and he said, Susan, I just want to tell you something. I don't use LinkedIn. I don't even know how I really got the message. It came through my email. But I did. I'm glad you did it, because I wanted to see that condo again. We're going to buy it. 2.3 million. Double dipped. I'll take it. Sold. But it wasn't because I was doing my follow-up properly, because they kind of put me off, to tell you the truth. Because I'd called them, and just nothing. And then all of a sudden, it was an accidental sale. Great commission. No complaints. Loved it. So the Ford method is a conversation that they came up with back during COVID. When COVID hit, it hit, as you remember, fast and furiously. I was in California. We couldn't leave our house. We couldn't show real estate. We were non-essential. When they finally did open real estate back up that we had to clean the house. Basically, we had to go with sanitizers and gloves and all the stuff. So they came out with this conversation called the Ford method, which is so easy. Oh my gosh, you guys, anybody you want to talk to about anything, this is even your kids, you could really just change it up a little bit. It's about family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. And it would go something like this. Hey, Brian, it's Susan Ash. How you doing? Sorry? Oh, you're good. So great to hear to talk to you. It's been more than a minute. How are the kids? Yeah, and how's your is it your sister-in-law Megan? How's she doing? She's great. I know. I met her. You know, I met her. Yeah. So, I'm glad to hear that everybody's doing well. That's a little private joke, but I'm glad to hear that everybody's doing well. And how's your job? Are you still doing real estate? Is it? Have you sold any big houses lately? That's awesome. Congratulations, Mike. That's really cool. I love that. And you're gonna continue to do that, right? You're just getting started. I'd love to hear that too. So what about the summer? Have you taken any vacations? Yeah, where'd you go? Some really good choices. Do you ever go out of the country, like any European vacations or anything? Nah. Stay. Well, Michigan, Traverse City, pretty cool, huh? It's beautiful there. Um, and what about, do you have any aspirations to do anything exciting and new, something maybe you haven't done before, or with the kids, your wife? What is, I don't know what that is. Yeah, cool. That sounds great. Um, I love that. I went to Sedona a few years ago and I love the vortex, the red rocks and the vortex, all really, really fun. So, well, hey, I'm still in real estate. Just want to say hi. Hope you're doing great. And it's so good to catch up for a minute. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for reminding me of that. I actually forgot that. Yeah. Okay, it's great to talk to you. That's the forward script. How easy is that? Simple questions. It actually is printed somewhere. I don't know where. It's not here. It's actually printed somewhere, so it gives you questions that you can ask so that you don't stumble, like I did a couple of times with Brian. But it's just a conversation. It is not selling. It's not pushing. It's just connection, which is what Tammy's been talking about, relationship. I do that on real numbers too. I love it. Yeah. Even the checkout line, at the grocery store. One of the gals I know over in Kentucky, she does a lot prospecting at the checkout. So, all right, I think we're wrapping up, you guys. 3 minutes till 11. I cannot believe it, on time. So, has your thinking changed at all today going into this?
So I've been reading The Rookie Real Estate Agent.
Great.
And going through that, I think today too, it's a lot of mindset. So for like me starting out, I'm just trying to get the growth mindset and stick with that, be a lifelong student and learn as much as I can today.
Love it. Love it. Any other changes in the way you're thinking? Do more. Mary, I'm with you. That's going to be I'm going to write that on my door. Do more. Um, so what was the most meaningful thing today that we talked about for you, do you think? Yes. I love that. But you are using it, correct? Yeah. Mary, yes. The answer will be yes. Yes from now on. Okay. How will your behaviors be different going forward? Are you going to take any actions like now that you might not have taken?
Last week, I set a goal for myself to get 200 contacts filled out of my database in 90 days. to me, I think that's giving myself too much time. I might try to cut it back a little bit, just so I'm making more calls and just really getting my reach out there. And then I think on top of that, with Ford model, I feel like our conversations naturally go that way with Ford.
Yeah, because that's when they start to open up to you a lot of times about real estate. You know, because like, especially with the group that you are with, your colleagues, they're gonna start having weddings and babies, and they'll start talking to you about that. And that parlays naturally into, and I'm gonna need a house for these kids. You know, getting married in June, you know, planning on maybe starting a family in a couple of years. That all just comes naturally with this conversation, and I love that. Anyone else?
Good reminder. It was a good reminder to not give up when my previous business, I always was like, stop, golly, May. I was just calling. Because what I learned was it was never about me calling, it was about crash the car, get tired. It was something that had to do with that. It wasn't about me.
And that's great that you know that going in. Because most of the newer agents, I mean, you've had experience with lots of phone calls, but most of the newer agents going in that have not had that experience think it's not about the other person. They always think it's about them. They don't want to talk to me. They don't want to hear my voice. I don't want to bug them.
People really don't think about you as much as you think about
They do not. They don't, they only think about them. They're not thinking about you at all. So, what tool, oh, Brian, you had something to say.
It was the same. It's a numbers game and so if you're not tracking them at a high level, that's not like just because you're doing that, it also doesn't so it's a numbers game. Stop short of just a couple of inches. And then so like if you're tracking numbers at a high level, you should be able to push it.
You really can.
Produce a newsletter. Tanner's teaching it. Tanner's been doing it for months now.
Yeah, he has. It's true.
He's doing it for our team. Everybody on the team.
That's awesome.
And part of the 36 touch. That's another. We know that if people are touched 36 times throughout the year, that we're likely to get this.
So, are you going to use the tools we talked about today? I mean, they're critical to your success. Can you do it without it? Yeah. I carried my leads around in the shoebox. That's how long ago I started. You don't want to do that. You want to put it into a great contact data system. You have to be the very, very best that you could possibly be in this market. You have to be the best. If you're not the best, you're not going to make it.
That is still a system. The rollbacks or the note cards and the little thing, start business, that's still a system. If you just now have technology, it helps streamline that, and you don't have to carry a shoebox. It actually has.
Yeah.
Yep. You're doing it digitally. You're doing it, you have a creative system.
Oh, I went from a shoebox to a Rolodex. I graduated to a
You know,
Rolodex.
rolling next to a phone, but still.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you guys, I hope you got something out of today. I'm sorry if it was a little discombobulated. Friday will not be discombobulated. It will be perfection. I promise you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming. If you need anything, here's my number. Don't write contracts on your own without help, please, because it will get you in trouble every single time, okay? So I don't know if you're mentoring with someone or you've joined PC or you're looking at a team. Brian has a team, I have a team. I would love to talk to any of you about joining. I'm sure he would too. Shameless plug, to say the least. But it was great being here this morning with all of you. If you need anything, don't hesitate to reach out. Write my number down. Okay? Thank you. Should be able to. I don't really know what's going on here. I'm a little.
He's gonna set up and then start, but we can.
Thank you. That was awesome. So, are you available to talk today? Or
I
not?
am, yeah. I'll get him started and then. Started, but I also want. I saw an email come through over in here.
About the deals.
Dudes apparently were doing everything. So what does that mean if the guy actually solves my policy? But if not, then you just pay the guy out.
So I will know more this afternoon. So I can have exact cost. Because they do have. They do have offsets to that deductible, so. Some of them are, it's commercial, so it's not like. we are.
Well, no,
So-
I want to make sure.
No.
Peter's team do a commercial now too, so. You know, we need to have just a good protocol. The office that happens. I thought, well, now, you don't know, it's responsible too, yeah.
Yeah.
But get answers for way less. Like contract law.
Well, you know, you're only gonna pay for what you use up to that point, so it's not like
We're not automatic.
$5,000, not to my knowledge, I'm not saying I have a specific. But I don't.
You know what I'm saying though?
Yeah.
Like, there should be enough like, okay, before we go through that, maybe there's another outlet, or like maybe. All the offices that's under, you're like, hey.
So the problem is, they want to project.
Oh, I know. Well, no, like they need to look at something like this. in the future. Be like, hey, we need to have a really solid plan to get questioned if we, the broker, this is above the broker. And we need to get an attorney to answer contract law questions. Like, what is,
We had that before. With Arch, but now we don't have Arch.
no, so we need, so we don't.
I've already been on the.
Yeah, no, so we just need to make sure that our protocol is rock solid so that we're not. wondering, like, what the hell?
I agree.
Because I feel like we could have gotten a quicker answer for less money. By a local attorney.
Yeah, and
I'd rather have our